Hi, this is Simolytics. Welcome to another lesson. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts or questions in the comments. Let's get started. Okay, in this video, we're going to learn how to import tables from Google Sheets into Power Query. I have two tables in Google Sheets, and I have two sheets, Sheet 1 and Sheet 2, and I want to import these tables in Power Query. I'm going to start Power Query from a blank Excel. This is a new Excel workbook, totally blank, and then I'm going to import the data from Google Sheets into Excel through Power Query. I'm going to start Power Query from this Excel file and then bring the data from Google Sheets into Power Query, and then from Power Query move it into Excel. So Power Query will be our connection engine so we can consolidate data from Google Sheets into Excel through Power Query. Okay, and of course we can transform the data the way we want in Power Query. I would do the same thing if I were starting Power Query from Power BI. I could bring the data from Google Sheets over to Power BI through Power Query. Okay, in this case we are using Excel. So all I have to do is go to my Google Sheet table, and let's start from Sheet 1, and then I will hit File and Share and Publish to Web. There's a little warning here. So this choice will make your content visible to anyone by publishing it to the web. So when you publish your data to the web, anyone who eventually could find your link will have access to your table. So make sure you're not sharing secret information. In case you want to share information that should not be made available, so maybe you should be using another way to share data, another probably paid and safer way to do it. Okay, so just to make it clear that using this free resource could make your data available to anyone with the link. So keep that in mind. And look, I have a link, and this URL will be used to share my data with Power Query. And depending on the way you want to share this data, you will have a different link. So you could share the entire document, or you could pick the sheet you want to share. Remember, I have in this Google Sheet, I'm trying to close out of it. Okay, there you go. It was too large. So I have two sheets, Sheet 2, Sheet 1. So when I decide to publish it, I can pick the sheet that I want to share, or I could share the entire document. I could share it as a web page, or as a CSV file, or as a PDF or an Excel file. So there's different ways, and each of these choices will give me a different link. So if I choose as web page, you will see at the end of the link that I have pub HTML, which refers to a web page. If I pick a CSV file at the end of the link, I will see CSV. If it's an Excel file at the end of the link, it'll be XLSX, which refers to an Excel file. Okay, so let's start with a web page. So let's share it as a web page, and I'm going to share the entire document. Okay, so I would just copy this link and go to Excel. In Excel, I will click data and then get data from other sources from web, or I can just hit this icon from web, which is the same thing. And then I have to paste my URL, hit OK, wait a few seconds. Okay, when you are sharing your tables as web pages, you can run into a few formatting issues. For example, if you select table 1, well, your sheet 1 is now named table 1. Now it's table 1. And then you can see that that is the table you wanted, but there's an extra row on top of your table. Table 2, same thing. There's an extra row, and Power Pivot will give you a few suggested tables with different formatting and different column selections. I don't know if any of those will be useful for you. And that's why I'm saying when you use the web page way to share your content, you may run into these little formatting problems. So maybe that is not the best way to do it. I just wanted to show you that this is available. Anyway, you could pick, for example, table 1 and table 2 and import it into Power Query and then do any transformations, any changes you need. That wouldn't be an issue, but there are better ways to do it than sharing the table as web pages. So let's just close out of it. I'm not going to proceed. Let's go back to Power Query, and then I'm going to use the CSV choice. With a CSV file, you cannot have different sheets like as you have here, sheet 1 and sheet 2. An Excel file will give you this feature, this chance to have multiple sheets in the same file. Google Sheets will give you that too, but a CSV file will not. In a CSV file, you will only have one single sheet. So if you are sharing your table as a CSV file, so if you are using a CSV file, even if you choose to share the entire document, you won't have both sheets available. So even if you pick entire documents, and if you copy the URL, go to Excel, and then you're importing data from web, you paste your link, and okay. And you'll see that even though you chose to import as a CSV file the entire document, it won't give you the list with tables, the list with sheets to choose between sheet 1 and sheet 2. In case you had multiple sheets, you wouldn't be able to pick the one you want because CSV files will only let you have one sheet. So my advice would be, instead of using a CSV file in this case, you could make it an Excel file. Of course, it depends on the size of your table. As you know, as we have discussed before, Excel has a row limit. So if you have a sheet that maybe is over a million and so rows, you wouldn't be able to share it as an Excel file. So then you would have to pick the CSV file option. But in this case, my tables are not that long, so I would just pick the entire document and then keep it as an Excel file and copy the link. And in Excel, I will do the same process. Okay. And now my two sheets are available to me. I don't have any formatting issues. They are just perfect. I can only pick one at a time, but if I check this little checkbox, select multiple items, now I can select multiple items and import all of them at the same time into Power Query. So I'll click transform data. Well, actually, I don't really have a lot to transform because my data is well shaped. And there you go. The last thing I want to show you is that, well, my data is now in Power Query and it's connected to Google Sheets. So if I change anything in Google Sheets and update my data here, my data will be updated accordingly. So let's go back to Google Sheets. And then in Sheet 1, I will delete the first 5 columns, and I will start with weight units. Okay, let's remove all of these columns, and I'll start with the stock type column. I'll just delete all of them, and then I will be left with only four columns. So I will just refresh the page to make sure my data is saved in the cloud. And now back to Excel, back to Power Query, I will just click refresh all. And there you go. I had a little problem with the change type step. Okay, so before we proceed, let me give you an advice. It's an important recommendation, and I will record a video showing you why this change type step could be an issue for you when you're importing data. So there's a reason for that, and I will explain it to you. But right now, let's make sure to remove this step, change type, from both queries. Okay, change type. And I will explain to you in the next video why this problem happens. So let me give you a better example. So because we had this little issue, but you can see that my table was updated according to the changes I made in Google Sheets. So let's do a quick change in Sheet 2. So back to Google Sheets, I'll go to Sheet 2, and in Sheet 2, I will remove all of the columns and leave it delete, and I will leave just one column. Let's go back to Excel and Power Query, and in Sheet 1 I will refresh. Oh, actually it's Sheet 2. I will refresh, and then I'm left with the only column that I left in Google Sheets. So as you could see, any changes made in Google Sheets will affect my data in Power Query, and I can now close and load, so my data will be brought into Excel. Like I said, we are importing data from Google Sheets into Excel through Power Query. You can see my data is not updated in Sheet 2, so let's refresh it all again. And there you go. So the changes I made are all updated in Excel through Power Query. Just in case you want to stop sharing your data, you just come back to Google Sheets, go to File, Share, Publish to Web, and then stop publishing. Stop publishing, okay? So it's not shareable anymore. And in the next video, let's discuss why changing data types automatically, that's a thing that happens in Power Query without you noticing or without your request. It happens automatically, and it could lead you to a series of updating problems. So let's discuss about it in the next video. I hope you like this one. See you in the next lesson.